now then, what am I going to make the drawers out of? I've literally been worrying about this all night. I can't. So I've got this old piece of shuttering ply, which is, you know, this is absolute garbage. So I've got that to mess around with. That's about, I don't know, 10 mil, 12 mil, something like that. And here I've got 9 mil MDF. Now I don't know if you can make drawer carcasses from 9 mil MDF. I would imagine you probably can, but I'm not sure about how to fix it. So I'm going to do a bit of Googling now. But one of the things that I was having problems with is how I'm going to do the runners, because I haven't got any posh metal ball bearing runners or anything like that. And I think what I'm going to try and do is use laminate flooring. Now this isn't overly thick. I can't remember how big this one is, but I'll have to figure that out. But what I'm thinking is, like, this is the side of the drawer, okay, for instance, and I put a strip across there and a strip across there with like a 1 inch gap in the middle. That 1 inch gap in the middle, a strip of that goes in there. So this is kind of the, I guess, the female aspect of it, and that's the male aspect of it. And then that'll, not only will it slide in, but it'll also stop it tipping as well. Now the reason I'm thinking about using some knackered old laminate flooring is because it should be, excuse me, it should be relatively stable, reasonably hard wearing. It's not going to kind of grow and shrink with the weather, or not really very much. Yeah, it's not going to take up that much space either. So I think that's probably going to be the plan, but I'm going to have to cut down a bunch of these. I have got a few in my wood store, so there we go. But yes, I did have to dig around quite a bit to get these, so we'll find out what's what, and you'll see next what's happening. Okay, so that is the box done. Thank you very much to Peter from 10 Minute Workshop, who I threw a question across on Instagram, and he was kind enough to answer it for me. But yeah, that's what I've got. The 9 mil ply makes that, so that'll slide in there. We should have the space we need either side to put the laminate floor runners. In theory, that's the plan. So I've now got just a bunch more of these to make, if I can. I'm just sharing the process, you know. It's just purely because I don't know if it makes it for the best viewing, but hopefully my haphazard kind of way of thinking about things, you might relate to it. And so yeah, we can't all go out and afford to buy stuff, so you have to make do what we got. Right, let's crack on. Well, I'm just having my lunch now, but that is all the carcasses for the drawers. I hope that time lapse that I did worked out. Alrighty, so that is all of the carcasses done for the drawers that will go in, oh, excuse me, into there. I've just had some lunch, ham bagel, lovely old job, and some bourbons. I'm going to have my cup of tea. And then I'm going to start figuring out the sides for the runners. I think this is already a rod for my own back, but never mind, we'll get there. That is probably about 18 mil, something like that, 16 mil. And I haven't got any sodding screws small enough to attach them, because everything I've got will blow all the way through the MDF. Well, that's what we're looking for so far. Look at that, look. What? Just got to make it repeatable now. But the good thing about this is it's unlikely to fall all the way out. I could always put a stop like there or something. But, you know, just got to repeat it accurately. Right. as you can see, I've managed to get these drawers in there and they're working. I know it's a little bit out of frame, but trust me. So what I'm doing, and this took me ages to figure out. So I've got my drawer here, which I made. Did I make these off camera? I think I might have done time lapse, can't remember. Anyway, what I've got is I take two of these, which I've pre-waxed along the edges. Then I have a spacer, which is exactly the same. And I get one of these, throw that on the side there like so, wang a clamp on it. Oops. A very strong clamp. Then I drill into this. Whoop, try and stay on top of the thingamajig. Not all the way through if I can help it. But I haven't got one of those whizzy, you know, stopper thingies. So then I found this old beast of a thing, but I needed a second drill so I can put the countersinks in. Certainly not an easy to hold affair. Wish I had another cordless drill, but never mind. Pop that in there, and then we get the impact driver. Bosh. Bosh. And that is how I'm getting the runner spaced where I want it on the drawer. I'll show you the next bit in a second. Right, when it comes to the insides, what I'm doing, if I take that bad boy out for a second, you can see here that I've got two spacers, slightly different thicknesses, and that means that I used the bottom spacer on the top rail of the previous thingamajig. I do the same with regards to, a couple more of these, popping that on there, drill it, attach it, and then I use the middle spacer to then put another rail on there like so. And that means that we've got ever such slightly different gaps because this one is wider than the one underneath it. So yeah, that is essentially one of the runners plus 6 playing cards. So there's a little tiny bit of movement in there just to make things moving in and out a little bit easier. Right, so this is as far as we've got now, which I'm pretty damn happy with. So I did think that I had a couple of runners incorrectly put together at one point, but it turned out I just had a couple of errant brad nails. But yeah, the two slots on the top, or the one on the slide on the top and the bottom does work well. So it means that when the drawer goes in, like so, it can come out, and it can come out a fair way before it starts to tip over. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's turned out, to be honest with you. It was an absolute headache. And I think I've recorded stuff, but basically I made a spacer for the bottom and then the middle, and I just did them all one at a time, and it took forever, and I hated every second of it. But yeah, so that's working, and to be honest, I'm surprised how smooth it is.